Welcome everyone to the Sitrep podcast, your forward operations base for all things military and historical wargaming. I am your host, Ariskini Jim, and today we are back to finish up last week's Panzer leader game between myself and Damon, recreating part of the Battle of Anzio. There's a link to part 1 of this video in the description below. Check it out if you're interested in the background and context of the Anzio campaign, or if you just want to check out the beginning of this game and see how we got to this point. As we discussed last week, Anzio was part of the Italian campaign of World War II, starting in January of 1944 and extending all the way into the summer. Operation Shingle was supposed to land a corps of American and British divisions behind the German defenses of the so-called Gustav Line, where the main Allied armies in Italy were bloodily stalled at places like Monte Cassino. The overall hope was that with Allied divisions behind the Gustav Line, the German position would finally crack and the road to Rome would finally be left open. Well, it didn't happen. The American commander of 6th Corps, Major General John Lucas, put his troops ashore on 22nd January 1944, but didn't push forward in his bridgehead until 9 days later, waiting until the 31st of January. By that time, the Germans had plenty of time to bring in all kinds of reinforcements, including some very serious divisions like 3rd Panzergrenadier, 26th Panzer, and the Hermann Goering Division. Needless to say, a quick victory was now out of the question, and when the Allies finally did start to push inland, they found the Germans more than ready. Over on the left wing of the Anzio bridgehead, the British in particular found this out the hard way when 3rd Brigade of their 1st Infantry Division tried to make a push toward the Italian town of Campoleone. This attack didn't go very well though, and before you knew it, 3rd Brigade had orders to start a fighting withdrawal. But was it already too late? The 3rd Panzergrenadier Division was already in the British flanks, threatening to cut off 3rd Brigade's withdrawal, so new forces had to be sent in to hold this escape path open. This included 1st Battalion of the London Scots, that's part of the newly landed 56th Division, backed up by the Shermans of the 46th Royal Tank Regiment. With Damon commanding the British and I'm playing the Germans, we started this game last week. I came on the table and secured those 2 access roads, so pretty much putting the burden of victory onto the British. And then Damon came on the table and, after making a cautious approach, started to bait me a little bit with a squadron of Shermans over on his left wing. I will admit, I took this bait with an overrun attack against those isolated Shermans with all of my Mark IVs and Stugs. I tried to cover this assault with some overwatch fire from my onboard artillery, but that didn't work out very well. Damon then kicked off an absolute killer series of epic die rolls that left the bulk of my 103rd Panzer Battalion more or less devastated. A well-timed airstrike by the Royal Air Force against some very bad anti-aircraft rolls certainly didn't help matters. Yet I still hold plenty of concealed defensive positions all up and down that Campoleone road and rail line, and now Damon has to push north and dig those positions out. His job, don't forget, is to open up that access route so that 3rd Brigade of 1st Division can safely withdraw. So while Damon is definitely winning from a collateral perspective, I'm still winning on terrain. I hold all the key ground, and the question now becomes, can Damon beat the clock? Let's go to the footage and see how this battle shakes out. Okay, so German turn 4 was pretty unremarkable. All I really managed to do was use my light howitzers to knock out some anti-tank guns and 3.7-meter anti-tank guns mounted on half-tracks to actually get a miracle shot and knock out a troop of Shermans. Meanwhile, my Vesper, from way up here on the high ground, managed to call in a little bit of a direct fire blast and pin down some more Shermans. So we'll come back to that later on in the video. Okay, now we're into British turn 4 and the artillery phase for the British. Here is the target hex for their 2 batteries of 5.5-inch howitzers. Okay, so since he has 2 batteries, Damon actually has to roll scatter diagram twice because these units are not officially spotted. They haven't fired out of that hex yet. He nailed this one with a 2. Then, for his 2nd battery, he rolled a 5 for his scatter, so it scatters 1 hex, and then we see what hex it scatters into. What did you roll for that 3rd dice, Damon?
A 2.
A 2, because of course he did. So that's a 1, and that's a 2. Even when Damon misses, he hits. So some of the artillery drifts off of its target and lands on more of my guys. Alright, so what's going to wind up happening is that 16 points are going to hit this hex, or technically this hex, I should say. I'll write right on there. 16 points hit there, and 16 points hit there. 16 points hit that mortar section. 16 divided by 3 is 5 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll for my woods.
1.
1 becomes a 2. They are gone. Next, 16 lands on this rifle platoon. 2 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll.
2 becomes a 3.
2 becomes a 3 on the 2 to 1 table. They are dispersed. 16 divides into 8 because it's hitting an armored target. 8 affects 7 for the tanks. Becomes 1 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll.
2 becomes 3.
He's also pinned down. Rinse and repeat for this hex. Alright, so 16 versus 2 is 8 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll. Even if you roll 6, he's dead.
3.
He's very, very smoked. Then we've got 2 more rifle platoons in there. So 16 divided by 8 is 2 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll.
5 becomes 6.
Actually, no effect. Do a rinse and repeat for the second rifle platoon.
3.
Becomes a 4. He is dispersed. Cool, so that's how that artillery phase worked. Then we go on to your direct fire.
We've got some stuff in this wood spotted.
Oh yeah, these guys are pretty much already bailing out of the half-tracks. We've got the Shermans directly in front of them, obviously. And then we've got 3 more Shermans over here if you want to bring them in. Hell, even the little Crusader AA tank can get in on the action if he wants to.
And can the mortar in the town?
If he wants to give his position on that, yeah. I mean, he's only going to be worth 2 points versus armor targets.
Oh, yeah.
So this Sherman is worth 20. These Shermans are greater than 2, but at 4 or less, so they stay at 10. So this is 20, so it's either a 4 to 1 or a 5 to 1.
Is the 5 to 1 an instant kill?
No, especially in woods. So, so 5 to 1 would be you need a 4 or less.
Yeah, we'll go for the for that high probability shot on him.
Okay.
3.
3 becomes a 4, he's smoked. And then these 3 would be, if you want to fire all 3, this would be 30 versus 5, 6 to 1, add 1 to the die roll. Don't roll 6.
6.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. Alright, now he's dispersed. Or you could say you threw in that Crusader and we'll just say he's killed.
Oh yeah, I was going to use that.
Alright, cool, no worries. So while we have the camera going, we'll also try to rally some of these units. We said everybody was morale B in this game, so try to roll a 4 or less to rally the Sherman troop.
3.
He rallies, so he can still do his split move and fire, he just can't attack anybody. And then we have these 2 Sherman troops here.
First one, 2.
He rallies, the second one.
Second one, 5.
Does not rally. We're still brewing tea, we'll get back to you later. And we also kind of skipped over your air phase. Did you want to bring in your last Typhoon or use your guns on your 3 Typhoons you already have on the table?
That are on table. Do I try and get rid of that Vespa?
There you go. Remember, these got 20mm autocannon on them.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll attack the Vespa. I know we're going to take some fire from it. But if you're coming from due west, I'll minimise one of them.
Alrighty. Cool, so the range is 2. And what we're talking about here is there's going to be 4 from this one and 2 from this one. So I go up to a 6, which I think still leaves me on the crappy table. Yeah, 4 to 7. Alright, cool. So I need a 1 or less. I got a 5. Okay, so we're looking at 12 total points, because you got 3 4s in there. However, you are within 2 hexes with an A-class weapon, so that doubles to 24. 24 versus 5. Just aim at 20mm, man.
3 becomes a 4.
That's it, he smoked. It looks like the Germans are getting slaughtered, and honestly, yes, they are getting slaughtered. But remember, and
These are all easy targets.
He's got to clear all. I mean, there can't be German units within 4 hexes of either this northern road or this this north-south railroad here. So the Germans are now just stalling for time. So anything to add to that, Mr. Damon?
No, so far it's been easy targets, but it's the hard work now is using the infantry to winkle out the infantry.
Infantry and your artillery. Your artillery is going to do pretty well. Focused artillery barrages to do some good damage there. Okay guys, we're now into British turn 5, and just a quick update. My mortars, who managed to pick off 1 more platoon of Shermans, they don't get to fall back because they're not considered turreted AFVs. They don't get the turreted AFV mobility rule, so they were pretty much stuck there to die. They took a lot of fire from all these Shermans, and they held on okay. They were dispersed, but then again, comes in the 20mm chain guns, the autocannon from these Typhoons, finished them off. And again, because they're now dispersed, a double D is considered a kill. Damon rolled a 2, and that was it for them. We also had some British artillery do some really good work here. I mean, how many ones in a row have you rolled on your artillery? Not only that, Damon, but when you drift, you land on other units of mine. I don't know.
I'm on target, one drift to the opposite hex, and then reversed in this last turn.
Okay, we're into British turn 6. They've completed their artillery and their direct fire. They've mopped up a few units, and now they're continuing a general advance on a gathering pace, because they're starting to run out of time. That looks like it's going to be 3 rifle platoons there. A rifle platoon there. Alright, we have, for opportunity fire, 3 from the rifle platoon and 5 from the Mark III platoon, because they have to divide versus infantry versus self-targets. So 5 and 3 is 8. I'm going to take a poke at one of them. At 1-to-1 odds. 4, I managed to pin them down. However, that does mean now that these remaining 3 get to attack on a cat attack. So, that is going to be 6 versus 15. That's 1 to 3. However, you get to subtract 2 from the die roll. Roll low.
5.
5 becomes a 3. That was no effect on that cat attack. But you got them spotted now, and they run out of room to retreat. Alright, these Shermans have full movement, so where do you want those to go?
That Panzer III's fired, hasn't it?
Yep.
They will move up to 1606.
Okay. That's a good spot. Now I have to come out in the open if I want to cat attack you, but you're still within 2 hexes if you want to engage those tanks. These guys took opportunity fire, so they can move half.
They're going to come around the woods to 1406. The other pair are going to come. Now we've still got a tank on a northwest, haven't we?
There's one more platoon of Mark III's over here.
No, it's not on mission. They're going to head in towards the railway line and then move north.
Alright, they can get that far with 4 movement points.
Yep.
Oh, these guys haven't moved at all yet. He's got 8 movement points.
So he's going to push as far forward as he can towards the other tanks, to the railway line and then north.
Like that, maybe?
Yeah, either or. Yeah, that's fine.
Or staying here with that in case he gets cat attacked?
Yeah, that's probably better.
So, those Stuarts can now move at 11 if they want.
We've got there, half tracks. Yeah, they're going to go due north to try and clear that northern wood line.
Up here?
Yeah.
So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you like trying to invest them or surround them, or that's the very top of the map up there?
Yeah, we'll close to 2302.
They can't do anything to you because they only have machine guns. But if you hem them in enough and they can't rearrange, they can't play the stupid Panzer leader shell game to where, nothing's adjacent, then your Typhoons can get in there and start tearing them up.
Yeah, so we'll move another one to 2301. If we go to 2203, we're risking a cat attack from the infantry, aren't we?
And possible problems from these guys down here.
Yeah, so we'll double up there.
That way these 2 stacks can sort of support each other. Alright everybody, we are now at the bottom of the 7th, and it's coming down to the wire here. So the British have more or less taken care of this central German position here. Some of the British Shermans have remained behind because there's a little bit of German armor back here that might decide to get cheesy. Not that Oriskany ever plays cheesy, but they are fast, Mark III's, and half-track anti-aircraft vehicles. So just to keep that from happening, there is a little bit of an overwatch force here to cover Damon's left wing. The Stuarts and the Typhoons have not been able to knock out these half-tracks, just some bad die rolling here. And then it's just time to, bite the pillow and think of England and make a big charge here against these enemy units up here. All we're waiting for here on turn 7 is this big cat attack. So this cat attack was supported by some direct fire. Did manage to pin him down with some good die rolls with these Bren carriers and these rifle platoons and this little Humber armored car. Even he has a little machine gun there on his roof. Managed to pin down that rifle platoon. And now 1, 2, 3 rifle platoons plus engineers are all going in. You've got 9 points total. Engineers always bump you up 1 column when they're conducting a cat attack. That helps you with satchel charges, flamethrowers, Bangalore torpedoes, all that good stuff. So it's now, let's add it all up. It's 1-to-1, that's the easy part, but the modifiers go kind of crazy. Alright, we're subtracting 1 because he's dispersed. We're adding 1 because he's in woods. We're subtracting 2 because it's a cat attack. On 2-to-1, not 1-to-1, because we got engineers. And a double D will kill him. So, what did I say? 2-to-1, subtract 2 from the die roll.
4 becomes a 2.
4 becomes a 2, that kills him on 2-to-1. In fact, that kills him quite easily. Alright, so that whole position's now been cleared, and the railroad is clear up to this point. Boom, we now have turn 8. Germans are not calling in new artillery because there is no turn 9. Okay, turn 8 lands on 1608. Right there. Alright, cool. Alright, so 3 1-to-1s. These are all pretty simple. 13 divided by 8, no modifiers. Nothing, 1 dispersed. Alright, then we go to German direct fire. My little guy will take another poke at 1-to-1. I get to subtract 1 from the die roll now, and a double D will kill him. A 4 becomes a 3 on 1-to-1. I don't think that does it. Actually, yes it does. Alright. Then we go to German movement. Oriskany never plays cheesy, except for when he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me know when these Shermans want to open fire.
1 squad, one platoon plus the mortars will fire at the Mark IIIs that are advancing.
Okay, that is 10 plus 2 equals 12 versus 7 is, actually I would save those mortars. Because it's 10 versus 7, it's just 1-to-1.
Yeah, I can't improve the odds, so yeah.
10 plus 2, you're still 1-to-1. Alright, so 1-to-1 on those Mark IIIs.
2.
Gotta pin them down. So I'm gonna take a 2-to-1 on these Bren carriers just for fun, for my 2 platoons of armored cars. 2. He smoked him. Alright, then comes the big ass cat attack. 3, 3, 3, and 6. That's 15 versus these 3 8s. That's 24. That's 1-to-2. Engineers becomes 1-to-1. Subtract 1 from the die roll. Oh my god, there it is on camera. The Germans can't catch a break. I'm glad that was on camera though. That big ass cat attack did absolutely fuck all. They all ran out there and it was like, Hans, I thought you brought the stick grenades. Nein, Klaus, I thought you brought the stick grenades. Who brought the teller mines? That was supposed to be the other guy. Okay, alright, we move over to you, Damon. This is it. This is your turn 8. We're going to go ahead and start with, there's no artillery to plot, so just call in your last turn's artillery.
The southern hex of the town.
Nice. Alright, so we got 32 total points, landing on wooden buildings. Alright, so basically all you have to do is add 1 to the die roll. Alright, so we're going to start off with 32 versus 6, which is 5-to-1.
3 becomes a 4.
Toast. 32 versus 8, 4-to-1. Add 1 to the die roll.
3 becomes a 4.
Just barely enough. And then here's the tough one, the Pioneers. 3-to-1. Yeah, 32 divided by 10 is 3-to-1. Add 1 to the die roll.
4 becomes a 5.
Becomes dispersed. That's it for artillery. Then we go to air power. So you have your last Typhoon that still has rockets.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go after the 2 armoured cars.
Alright, cool. I have only 1 4-point anti-aircraft battery that is in place. I roll a 2, which means that it does not do anything. So I failed to chase off the Typhoon. 40 points versus 6 is 6-to-1. Add 1 for wooden buildings.
5.
Alright, cool. That is 5 becomes a 6, but on 6 to 1, that's just enough. That's that. We got your 3 cannon arm typhoons.
Okay, so we'll put 1 against him and 2 against the half track.
Okay. So it's 4 becomes 8 because you're within 2 hexes, becomes 8 to 2, 4 to 1, add 1 to the die roll versus the half track with the anti-aircraft.
2 becomes a 3.
Smoked. Okay, and then here we've got 4, 8, 16 versus 4. That's another 4 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll.
3 becomes a 4.
That'll do it on 4 to 1. Alright, that's it for your air phase. We go to your direct fire.
So we need to clear that town as best we can with whatever can see to shoot.
Yep.
So we've got all of the Shermings.
Which do not have because they are A stars.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a total of 30 points. Because these guys are blocked by that hex line right there.
Mm-hmm.
So 30 points versus 8 is 3 to 1. Add 1 to the die roll.
6.
6 becomes a 7. That is, I think on 3 to 1, no effect. Yeah, 7 is no effect.
Have we done the attack on the engineers? Or did they attack me?
No, we haven't actually shot at them yet. They're dispersed from the artillery. So yeah, those other Shermans and the Bren carriers to the south can definitely attack. Yeah.
I know it's not going to make a huge deal of difference because they're suppressed, but rolled a 4.
Natural 4 on 2 to 1. I think you got them. 4, you barely. Yeah, 4 on 2 to 1. Double D. Once a unit gets dispersed, they get. I think that wraps us up. So we have 4 German active combat units within striking distance of the road. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Panzer 2 as well.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, that Panzer 2 might make the difference. So the victory conditions, just to clarify, would be British decisive victory 0 to 1, German active combat units within 4 hexes of the 2 north-south exit roads. 2 to 3 German units equals a British tactical. 4 to 5 equals a British marginal. 6 to 7 equals a German marginal. 8 to 9, 8 or 9 equals a German tactical, and then 10 plus equals a German decisive. But that sure didn't happen. Alright, so congratulations, Damon, and thanks very much for helping us out with our 80th anniversary games for Anzio.
That was a good game. I enjoyed that.
Awesome, cool. So again, what this is going to mean for the larger context of the Anzio campaign, at least the initial stages, is again, now that basically the road is open. I mean, there's still going to be some fighting to do, but 3rd Brigade, which has now been basically cut off, is going to have these escape paths to sort of conduct the rest of their fighting withdrawal. That's going to be over the night of February 4th to 5th, 1944, and reestablish this left wing of the Allied line. So we got the British here, and we got the Americans here. This is kind of the opening stage of the Anzio situation in early February 1944. So, any closing thoughts there, Damon, or?
No, I think I maybe did a little bit at the start. The anti-tank guns not hugely useful if I'm assaulting.
Yeah, to be honest, it's what they I know.
Yeah, it's what they had, but
I know what units were there, and I'm like, okay, what does a British line battalion have? They've got those 3 batteries of 6-pounders there, or those 3 sections, I should say, of 6-pounders there, 1 battery. So I throw them in there. If you can do something with them, in this kind of a situation, what I do with stuff like that is, of course, the tanks and the motorized rifles go straight up the, they do the attack, and then you start leaving those anti-tank positions here, maybe in this tree line pointing here, just in case the Germans get cute, like these guys were sort of trying to do, and sneak something around your side. Something like that. In the actual assault, no, they're not very useful.
Thought about going round the left to start with, but then decided that wasn't going to work, and then just brought it straight back up the middle.
Oh, way over here? Yeah, at first you had a lot of firepower over here.
Yeah. So I say dithered a bit, but I think I was very lucky taking out all the tanks as quickly as I did.
I did get a little too aggressive, but that whole squadron of Shermans was just sitting out there. I was like, I gotta do something with that.
I did bait you a bit, but it was more luck than judgment that you took the bait so well.
Well, I took the bait, but then I rolled disastrously, and you started rolling really well. And I was like, okay, I really paid for that. And to be honest, once you take out, once the German player can take out some of those tanks, that's pretty much it. I mean, I can't do really anything against your Typhoons or your artillery, so the one offensive element I can really affect are the tanks. All the Stuarts are left. Yeah, German armored cars are scary in early war, but once Stuarts and Honey start running around, they're suddenly not so scary anymore.
Yeah, they need to stick to recce and just see what's there and run away again.
So, yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
That was good fun, mate. I enjoyed it. Thank you for setting it up.
No worries at all.
Cheers, matey.
And there you have it, folks. Damon's British were able to clear my German positions away from the Campoleone road and rail line, just barely to a sufficient degree, so that this game goes down as a marginal British victory. All credit to Damon, he definitely kicked the ever-living crap out of my Germans, especially on turn 3, and then did very well with his off-board artillery in the second half of the game. At the same time, I won't lie, Lady Luck was definitely on Damon's side this time, although in equal measure, he really did a great job pushing his forces forward against some tough objectives and a very aggressive timeline. In all honesty, if Damon and I were playing this game off-screen just for fun, we probably would have given the British 10 or maybe even 12 turns to more realistically accomplish this difficult mission. Anzio, of course, would not unhinge the Gustav line as hoped by the planners of Operation Shingle. Even after General Lucas was rather unceremoniously replaced, the Germans by now had this beachhead well contained, and in the end, the main Allied armies down by Monte Cassino would have to break through frontally and rescue the Anzio beachhead instead of the other way around. And with that, we are closing out our content for another episode here on the Sitrep podcast. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Please remember to hit that notification bell. Also, please consider joining the Sitrep podcast Discord. There is an auto-accept invitation link to our Discord in the description of this video. Join our community, see what everybody's up to, and best of all, show us what's happening on your hobby table. But for now, we are rounds complete for another episode. This is Skinny Jim with the Sitrep podcast, and as always, Tango Mike for watching.